We're going to break it down. All right. Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cancun! Off season's here. That's the most important thing. That's not meant to be smart. It just needed to get here for this team. Look at Mose. Look at that smile. Like waking up on Christmas morning, except Christmas is going to be June 23rd. 4th time in franchise history, this team will pick number 1 in the draft. Over the next hour, we're going to give you everything you need to know about the Special Olympics USA Games 2022. It feels good to say we're going to lay out the game plan for the entire week, meet the athletes, and most importantly, hear their stories. Became official today. Wander Franco headed for surgery tomorrow on his right hand. Looks to be out somewhere between the 5 and 8 week range. All the way back in April, the Jags' decision at number 1 wasn't really about who should we take. It was more about who needs the most help. You were at camp this morning. Trevor in the first team offense got a lot of run. How would you evaluate what you saw?
So I've been trying to learn dad jokes every day.
Okay, here I got one. What did the duck say to the bartender?
What did he say?
Put it on my bill. I'm gonna channel my inner Mauricio, put the shades on, kind of block out all the noise and all the haters. Yeah, he's right. You score 1, they don't score any. We're going on to the final. He's never really done so well at Daytona. 8 starts in the 500. Best finish was 7th. Didn't really have a lot of expectation coming into this pole tonight. You'll find people in this life who wear their hearts on their sleeve.
This one's for my daughter. This is her birth flower. I gave her a little tiara because she's my princess. This one's pretty special to me too. Living on borrowed time.
J-Bo Harrison wears his on his skin.
I got this one for my mom whenever she passed. These were the flowers that are on her grave.
Each and every tattoo.
My grandmother was a very godly lady. This was her favorite book in the Bible, Psalms. And then this was the day that she passed.
Tells his story.
The bear's kind of my spirit animal, man, you know, like kind of fluffy and hairy. Kind of cute and cuddly, kind of mean and aggressive.
Now, at first glance, mean and aggressive is what you would think of the trainer.
They think I'm going to make them lift heavy weights and do all of these like compound movements, which I will. There you go.
That's at least what Lou Ann Peterson thought.
I was pre-warned that it's going to look more like a motorcycle person.
Built like a grizzly?
Yeah.
More like a teddy.
But he's very sweet.
Good. Keep that back tight.
3 years ago, Lou Ann came to J-Bo looking to lose 20 extra pounds before the first of 2 bilateral knee surgeries.
2 more. Tight. This was about 8 or 9 months in. I decided to teach her how to deadlift one day, and she just really loved it. 1 more.
So within a year, Lou Ann went from that.
Great job.
You can do this!
To this.
She went in there and set the state record for her age and weight class.
I knew I did what I wanted to do, and I've jumped down here.
And it was so much fun, Lou Ann decided she needed a lifting buddy.
Now bend, knees bend, flex, flex.
So who better than your best friend of 30 years?
If left up to my own devices, I would be home sitting. But she calls me every day and makes sure that I come.
How do we feel?
Marvelous. I feel good. You get this inner feeling of strength and empowerment when you can throw some weight around.
All thanks to the marked man.
J-Bo's a very special person. His major motivation in life is to help other people. And that's where he comes from with everything.
J-Bo's tattoos tell most of his story by choice.
I can't touch it. Like I can't touch it.
But the scar on his chest is why the ink is not finished drying.
I mean, when it first happened, it was really tiny, and now it's all like. But I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful to still be here.
In 2012, J-Bo was diagnosed with heart failure. 6 months later and 50 pounds lighter, doctors implanted a left ventricular pump. He was told his days of lifting were pretty much done.
After the operation, I was just in a really bad mindset. I hated everyone. I hated God. I mean, I was just a miserable person.
But the gym, as it often does, became his saving grace.
So I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I started actually making gains with the heart pump, you know, putting a little bit more size back on, getting stronger. I had that heart pump for 179 days. Then I got the call for a transplant.
July 3rd, 2013, J-Bo's new heart arrived.
When I got home, my dad, he gave me this big long speech about how I had this new opportunity, this new outlook on life. I said, Dad, I'm gonna drive my car, I'm gonna get in my car, I'm gonna drive it to the gym, I'm gonna work out.
and he simply kept coming back.
I did a bodybuilding show a year and 6 days after transplant. Currently, I'm a competitive powerlifter.
But maybe the most powerful thing J-Bo has ever lifted is the spirits of two best friends.
J-Bo, meeting you was probably one of the most fortunate things that happened to not only my life, to Luann's life.
You definitely changed my life and the direction that I'm going. And I totally appreciate that.
The tattoos tell the story. The heart in his chest may belong to someone else, but J-Bo Harrison's soul gives it life.
You know, a lot of people, they don't get a second chance, and if they do get a second chance, they're not able to.
In Lake Mary, Luke Hetrick.
To do it like I have.
Spectrum Sports 360.
What's happening? Welcome in. Luke Hetrick, name of this television program is Spectrum Sports 360. It is February 12th. Tomorrow will be 1 month until Selection Sunday. At this point, we know who teams are, definitely know what they're not, probably more important. Now is when we can ask the appropriate question, what can you be? Today we know Florida is just basically slightly above average. They're nothing fancy. They're going to beat the teams they should. They're going to lose to the ones that are clearly better than them. You look at this season so far, this is probably another one and done Mike White tournament special unless you give us some reason to feel differently. This was an opportunity Saturday to change all of our minds. You're at 5th-ranked Kentucky. It's a matchup of two of the best big men in America. Colin Castleton going head-to-head with Oscar Tshiebwe, leads all of college basketball in rebounding. You needed Castleton to bring his A game, and he did about as good as he can do early on. Top of the key, you're going to give him space. Too good, he's going to knock that down. 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting. The rest of the starters combined for just 5 made shots. Mike White's club, he did not have a supporting cast today. Oscar Tshiebwe, man, he did. Kellen Grady, one of them. 3 threes in the opening 5 minutes that put the Cats up 10. Gators, though, they were in this despite all that. Flanders Fleming, right before the half, little teardrop. Castleton, Gators, they go into the locker room down 5. This is a game. Final 20. It was an Oscar-worthy performance, pun totally intended. Didn't say his name yet, now we're going to off the turnover. Ty Washington, Oscar Tshiebwe. Get out of Tshiebwe, part of a 10-0 UK run. Look at this kid. He plays with a high motor, it never stops. And then a couple possessions later, Tshiebwe. That's just great footwork, finishing with the left. He had 27 and 19 rebounds. 5th game this year with 20 and 15 at least. That's the most by an SEC player in 25 years. This is exactly like we thought it was going to go. Florida is a good team. That's what they are. They cannot beat the elite ones. It is clear. Over the last 3 years, they're 5-11 against the top 25, 15-9 overall this year, just a single quad 1 win. The updated bracketology has Florida as the first team out of the NCAA tournament. So what do we now know about Florida State? 2 things come to mind. They're not healthy, like at all, and they're fading fast. 3 starters, including Malik Osborne, their best player, not playing for the rest of the year. Today they went to Chapel Hill. It's a place they very rarely have any success, and they left with a 6th straight loss. All you really needed to see was the first 5 minutes. As Pat Summitt once said, you can't win a game in the first half, but you can certainly lose it. And they did before the under-16 timeout. Opening few minutes, Brady Manick. That's 3 in the corner. It's an 8-0 start, Ham. Okay, let's get a quick TO. So 6 minutes in, it's now 13-0 Carolina. They're running that break. Beautiful, leaky black, Manic Monday. He had 16 points. It's a 15-0 start. Knowles, they missed their first 10 shots. Carolina clearly did not. Why? Because Love wins. Caleb Love, 3, 18-0 to start this game. Another Florida State timeout. They don't get their first bucket till the 11:30 mark of the opening half. We get it with this team. It's been well documented. They're banged up. Caleb Mills sprained an ankle. He left the game, didn't return. And Carolina, though, they just flexed. Leaky Black, another dunk. It's a 38-point deficit for Coach Ham's club at the break. And we haven't even mentioned Armando Bacot, a man Roy Williams recruited. Second half, you start to feed the big on the oop. hard to stop. 17 points, 14 rebounds. It's a 20-point loss, and it really wasn't even that close. The 9th straight L in Chapel Hill. It's now a 6-game losing streak, the longest for Florida State since the 04-05 season.